Last month we went to Bradshaw's, we fished with ground bait, some casters and pinkies. We talked about feeding ground bait, quite positive. Today we're going to be doing the total opposite, so shallower water, little bit shallower lake, feeding ground bait still, but fishing with maggots and casters, loose feed approach, so looking to hopefully catch some of the big roach that are in this lake, but hopefully catching some roach, maybe an odd skimmer chucked in as well. Some skimmers fed yesterday on the match, so they might have a little bit of a chew, but hopefully we'll get in amongst them big roach, and we'll talk about, you know, the approach and how I'd go about shallow water fishing, how you've got to be a little bit more gentle with your feed. So let's head over to the peg, we'll have a look at the rigs and the bait and what we're going to do.
Hi everyone, this clip was taken from our Match Focus website. I'm going to be adding a lot more content to our Match Focus YouTube channel, but if you'd like to watch the video in full, a more in-depth look at the rigs, the feeding, bait and decision making, then just head over to the website at matchfocus.co.uk. I'd really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe to our Match Focus YouTube channel, as it really does help us grow. I hope you enjoy watching the video.
After this chuck, what I'm going to do, put a bit of ground bait in and just see if that ground bait can pull some fish in. Obviously the activity of the ground bait, the little bits coming off it and stuff, it might just drag some fish back into the peg and hopefully start catching a little bit quicker again. If your peg's just slowly going downhill, then you have to put ground bait in. I don't really like feeding a lot of ground bait when I'm fishing for roach like this on these shallow waters, because I just feel like they never want to sit over it anyway. So it doesn't really, I say it doesn't work, it draws fish into the area, but you don't always catch over your bait. So again, that's one thing to bear in mind. Just because I'm fishing ground bait doesn't mean to say that I'm going to go straight back over the top of it. So even here now with maggots, it might, obviously I've only fed 3 times, but it might take 10 minutes to sort of gain some interest from them little fish again. So while we're waiting to do that, let's go and put some ground bait in. You imagine like you're halfway through your match and you're thinking, well, my bites are slowing up now, where do I go from here? This is exactly what I've been thinking in my head, is right, I need to put a bit of bait in. So all I'd do, grab me a little bowl that's got an odd caster in it, grab a one-handed ball of ground bait, couple of squeezes. There's the odd little bits that are going to come off it, which is obviously going to entice a few fish to come in the peg and follow it down, but that's all I'm going to feed. So a bit bigger than a golf ball if you like, but a bit more oblong shape, just to stop it spinning off a little bit as well, because if you put them in perfectly round, sometimes they can spin off a little bit. So I'm going to feed my ground bait there, and obviously we're fishing past this. But what that'll do now is that ground bait will start to work, bit of activity, and hopefully a few fish will come in and investigate what's going on. I can already see my ground bait now starting to fizz, so the little bits of particles that are coming off it. I've not needed the heavy rig once today, because I've never felt like there's been enough fish in my peg where I'm missing bites and I need to get the bait through to the better fish. So that rig today has pretty much been useless, to be honest. So I've gone probably 2 or 3 foot past my ground bait. I'll go straight away, bite. If you keep putting ground bait in, sometimes it will make your peg, it will sort of kill it off, so you don't want to be putting too much bait in too regular. See, they're nice stamp roach. It's actually probably an average size roach for this lake. We've not had a single one of the big ones today, which I'm a bit amazed about, to be honest. But obviously in a match I won't be worried, because I've got a few skimmers that'll bump my weight up. So again, probably 2 or 3 foot past that ground bait. I think you'd be surprised what fish are in your peg, or what's hanging around, and it's amazing how a little ball of ground bait sometimes can just change your peg like that. even though we're not fishing on it, it can sometimes just make something happen. So again, like, I'll just keep loose.